Alright guys, we are walking into the Austin Record Show. Alright guys, so I went to the Austin Record Convention. Stoked to finally get to make it out. Every year I want to go, and it just seems like something comes up and I can't go that weekend or whatever. And this year it was like Tuesday and the show was Friday, and I was like, I think I want to go. I've got nothing going on this weekend. I think I'm going to try to go. And so booked everything, flew down, got a hotel, all that stuff. And so I went for 2 days, Friday and Saturday. And so Friday's kind of the day. It's an advanced day or whatever, so all the dealers come and get set up, and you can buy a ticket to come in that day and kind of browse and buy from the dealers and kind of get a little bit of a head start. So that's what I did. I was like, if I'm gonna fly down there, I'm gonna go ahead and try to take as much advantage as I can of the situation. So I'm going to show you through a bunch of the record finds, and I'll tell you more about the Austin Record Show at the end. But I did a lot of walk-around footage of just what it's like to be there. I don't think the footage really does it justice. It is massive. It's the biggest record show in the United States, I believe. I was stoked to be able to go, but man, it was overwhelming. I'll kind of tell you about the whole experience towards the end. I know that you guys are wanting to see the records, but in between, I'm going to kind of patch in some footage of me walking around and finding these records if I can. I didn't film everything. I got this little camera that goes right here on my chest, so sometimes it gets my beard in there. It's always not always a great angle. I'm not good at technology, but anyways, I'll show you kind of some of the stuff I got. The first booth that I stopped at was a booth called Lysergic Sounds. I had heard about these guys. They have a label kind of like we do, and they put this out. This is Grail Mansion's killer psychedelic hard rock stuff. And he actually gave me a copy of this. He was a really, really cool guy. Very, very nice. Just, how sometimes you meet people and you just click with them. He's just a really nice person, really into the same stuff I'm into: psych, hard rock, weird stuff, krautrock, prog, all that. So he had some cool stuff on his wall. The thing that's so I'm in there for like 5 minutes, and I see his booth, and I'm like, because my plan was to do a lap, like walk around, look at everything, and then like kind of look at the walls that people had just to see if there's anything that I had to stop for that I needed, and I saw his booth. I was in the room for 5 minutes, and I was already out buying stuff. So this J Teal band, Cooks, is a great record. It's a North Carolina, I believe it's either North Carolina or South Carolina, kind of rock, funk, Newberry, South Carolina, hard rock / some of it's a little bit funky, but very cool record. Really, really hard to find. Private press deal, and I've been looking for one for years. I've never been able to find one, so I saw it on the wall, and I just stopped, and I was like, I'm buying this right now, just because it's just. And that was one thing about the show, is that there was so much like that. You're like, I never see this record. Well, how is it here? There's a couple like that I was just like, and when you see it, you got to buy it. So another one that I've been after for a long time is this Finchley Boys. This is a really nice copy. It's in the shrink, all that stuff. It's got the sticker. But yeah, this is one I've been looking for a very long time, and it just always seems to slip out of my hands when I I've almost had it a couple times, and it's just it's one of those, like, they're not really hard to find, but they're hard to find in person, and they're hard to find at a reasonable price. Like, people usually want like a crazy amount for them. And so another thing about these record shows is that, like, all the Grails and stuff are priced way too high, you know, but it's because there's built-in negotiation. They have to price them high so they can get like regular price for them. So we negotiated, and everything ended up, I felt like I was getting a good deal. But this is a great record. Been wanting it for a really long time. This is another one, Plum Nelly, Deceptive Lines. A friend of mine was at the booth while I was there. I was the first time meeting him. Really cool guy. His name's Newark Psych on Instagram. And he posts a lot of crazy stuff. He's a really high-level collector. But he was like, if you don't have that Plum Nelly, you got to get it. And I was like, well, I don't have it. But I was kind of, this is not as big as those. It's a killer record. And I didn't even notice it there because there's just so much going on. And I was like, boom, 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 that. And I've had that record before, but I don't have one now. And then this one, I'll put down here somewhere what this is called, but it's this Greek prog record. I have no idea how to say it, but I'd never heard of this, never seen it. But that cover, I was like, wow. I did blind buy like a fair amount of stuff also. But that cover is just mind-blowing. So I went ahead and grabbed that. I blind bought it and listened to it on my flight back. I kind of was streaming it, and it's killer. It's really good. It's Greek prog. So this is one that he had a few sealed copies of, and I'm getting 3 of these just because I like to have good stuff to trade. And he's like, if you buy more than one, I'll give you a good deal. So I bought 3 of them. This is Renacimiento. I know Spanish. I don't know Spanish. I'm not going to be able to pronounce this. I can promise you this. Some Spanish words I can figure out. This one, if I'm going to write it down here at the bottom somewhere. Renacimiento. Anyways, it is killer. That's all you need to know. You can look it up by the word down there on the bottom of the screen. It is from Mexico, 1978. And it's like folk rock with some like really killer fuzz guitar. It's cool. I mean, that cover looks really cool anyways, but it is a fantastic record. Really good. And I never even heard of it. And he was trying to sell me on it, telling me about it, you know. And I kind of pulled out my phone, listened to it for a second, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm sold. So I had a really good time at his booth. He gave me this single as well. This is called Bold Chicken. It's a 7-inch. I haven't listened to it yet, but that's also on his label. But I had a great time at his booth. I kept going back and looking and finding some things. So very cool stuff.
Now, do you know Dylan from Noble Records?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you. How you doing, man?
Good.
Yeah, we don't.
So now I'm walking around and I see this booth. Some very nice gentlemen that are running it. Here's a clip of me like walking in and meeting them. Hey, how's it going?
Love the show, bro.
Thank you, man. Thank you. You from around here?
We're the
Oh, you're both
southern record store south of Texas.
Nice. Nice, man. I love Texas. So they were really cool. They dealt with a lot of like Latin stuff. And I know a little bit about Latin music, but not enough, you know. And I've got some like hard rock and stuff like that when it comes to like Spanish hard rock and South American stuff. I dabble. I'm okay with that stuff, but when it comes to any other type of stuff, I have no idea with like some of this stuff. Like this looks really cool, and I asked them. They had a lot of Latin stuff, and I was like, recommend me something, and I will buy it just blindly. And so they'd watched the show. They kind of knew what I was into, and this is Esteban Jordan Isu Campania Supermex, and this is from Texas, but it's Tejano soul. I don't even know. So the cover looked cool. I didn't listen to it at the time. I was like, I'm going to just blind buy this and trust you guys. There's one track on YouTube. I listened to it like later on, and I really liked it. So this is one I think, you know, for me, what I love about going to record stores and record shows and stuff is finding something and kind of trusting the owner or trusting whoever's there and saying, hey, recommend me something. And almost every time it is something good, you know, something they're passionate about, something they want to pass along. So that's something that I really, AI can't do that. It's the charm of the community, you know.
Evil woman, and take me under your spell. Evil woman, and take me under your spell.
So the next booth that I went to was where I spent most of my money probably, and that was the SlowO booth. Man, so good. So these guys, I've known them for a long time. Way before I had a record store, we drove across country. We went to Albuquerque, and there's these guys that had like all these records and kind of set up in a warehouse. And I went over to dig, and I bought a bunch of jazz stuff from them, I think. Can't remember, but started following them on Instagram, and the past few years I've just seen them. They find the craziest stuff. So I was excited to go over to their booth. When I got there, the first thing I saw was this. The Cult, The Mail Must Go Through. This came out in 1975. This is a killer funk record. But it's just absolutely mind-blowing funk. I've wanted this record for so long. And this is a sealed original copy. So there's 3 different versions of this original. This is actually the first version. The very first came out in 75. It's got that blue background with the, I guess, Pony Express Mail Must Go Through. So that's the first one. And then there's another one that has the same cover, but the background's like a lot darker. It looks like it's nighttime or something. And then there's another one with a lady on the cover. That's the lady cover one, I think, is the rarest one. And I think it's worth quite a bit more, even though it's not the first. It's because the second 2 came out in 1976. Anyways, nerd jargon, all in the weeds, but this is a killer funk record and it's still sealed. I'm excited to crack it open. Man, I mean, it's just one of those I never expected to see in the flesh. Super stoked to get it. Then they also had this Frank Derrick Total Experience. Really killer soul jazz funk type of thing. I've been wanting this one for a long time too. It's been reissued. It's out there. But somebody had this at a booth like maybe 20 feet away, and they had double the price on it. And they had it priced at what it should be priced at. So fair prices, all that stuff as far as record store goes, a record show goes. But yeah, fantastic record. Stoked to get that one. This one is Message from Mozambique by Juju. This is on Strata East. It was one of the Strata East titles that I was missing. Been wanting this forever. I saw it up on the wall there and threw it in my stack. We had to negotiate it all together at the end. This is Amos Key. This is some krautrock, 1974, I believe. Really, really great stuff. Stuff you don't expect to see in the States. Message, it'll be a while. This is like hard rock, a little bit of a heavier one. And I've been wanting it for a long time. The label that it's on is Black Gold. We're reissuing a record that was on that label. It's called Genre Commercial Success. Anyways, we're reissuing that later this year. But Message, it'll be a while. Cool one that... like, I was digging through their... because they had, like, stuff on the wall, but they also had, like, really killer stuff just in the bins. So I'm looking in the bins, digging through, and every time someone buys something off the wall, they'll pull something out of the bins and throw it on the wall, and I'm like, what? And so that Message just went on the wall, and I was like, what the heck? I think I saw everything, but I might not have. This is a couple of Triana records. These are Spanish prog. I have one other record of theirs, at least one, and I saw these you know, they obviously don't turn up in the States, so I had to grab them. And this is one called, the band's called Ache. The record's called Green Man. And this is a really killer prog rock type of thing. This is probably like $100 record. They had it priced at $50 because I think a little bit of the spine is jacked up, but the discs are nice. Very good deal on that one. But yeah, this is one that was on my want list. It's been on there for a long time, but you don't really expect to ever see it. And so I was stoked to get it. And then we were talking, and I saw them. They had Dr. Footswitch on the wall, which is a Zamrock record, like a really rare one, Grail. And I was like, oh man, that's awesome. I already have one, but I was like, yeah, any more Zamrock? And the thing is, I have every Zamrock record except for like 3. And they're all really hard to find. Well, really, except for 2. One of them I just need a cover for. But anyways, but one of the biggest ones that I've been looking for forever, I was like, you know, you have. He's like, look in the world section. There's some Zamrock stuff in there, and I was like, there's no way he's gonna have this one because it's the one I need. And boom, there it was. Giant Steps, Jesper Celia. This is the one that the only other one that I need. There's 2 other ones that I need, and one of them I need a cover for, and that's the 5 Revolutions Boyfriends. And then there's one more that was it's Chrissy Zebby Tembo, and it was it didn't even come on the cover. It's like really, really rare. I've had a couple friends that have had them for a long time. It was just like, it was like folklore that it might be out there. So anyways, I'll get the cover for the other one. I have the discs. I'm not that worried about it. And then the other one, if I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't. But anyway, so we're really closing in on Zamrock. But I was stoked to see this one. You know, I know it's got ring wear. It looks a little beat up. This is a great copy as far as Zamrock standards are concerned. I was stoked to see that. I very rarely do now. I'll be digging and I'll be like, you know, just gasp, you know. And it was just, I was finding that was really, really, really cool.
Hi, we want your video.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'll be around. Good to see you, man. Hey. Hey, man. Good to see you again. I remember you. Hey, man. How's it going?
It's really good to see you in the flat.
Yeah, man. You too.
Hey, Dylan.
Hey, man. I almost bought that yesterday. Then I forgot it was there, and then you bought it.
Next one I went to was the Sunshine Records booth. Sunshine is a really cool shop. So it's in Gainesville, Florida. We went, if you saw our video of us digging around Florida, we went to Sunshine Records and we had a blast. Great stuff there. The owners are super nice people. And one of them was out setting up at the record show, and they had like a lot of really killer stuff. I only got 3 records from them, but they're all absolute killers. So the first one I went was Soul. What is it? This is the cleanest copy I've ever seen. It's super clean. I've been wanting this for a long time. I've only ever seen it a couple times. The other times I've seen it, it's been too rough for me and I passed on. So I've got their other record. This is one that I've been wanting for a few years, and it was sitting there and it was super clean, and I was like, yes, I'll take it. So I bought that one from them, and then I saw this one, which I was like, oh man, somebody's going to end up with that record. Some lucky duck's going to end up with that record, but it ain't going to be me. Then I was looking at it, and I was really looking at it because I have a lot of friends that are more into jazz than I am. I am into jazz, obviously, but and I was just thinking that I don't think I would be willing to pull the trigger on that. It had a real big price tag on it, and I was so I'll just show you. This is the Magnificent Thad Jones. This is a first pressing with the window cover. If you can see like that trim that's around the top, that's what they call like a window cover on these old Blue Notes. It's a square that's around the whole thing. So anyways, this is one of those Blue Notes that is just like tip top. You see it? You know what I'm talking about? Tip top Grail Blue Note, I think. I mean, it's you never see. I've had several copies of this, but never a actual first. This one is an actual first press, and it is a really clean disc. And I really couldn't believe it when I saw it just because of how clean it was, and it was indeed a first press. Because a lot of times, people, they'll say it's an original, but it's a second pressing or whatever, and that drives me freaking bananas. But yeah, so he it was expensive, and I was like, well, we'll talk about it. And I walked by it like 20 times, and I was like, and I offered him something for it, and he's like, no, I can't do that. And I'm like, I understand, no worries, because he's like, I'm open to offers, and he counter offered me, and I was like, I'll think about it. And every time I walked past him, he was like looking, and I was looking, and anyways, finally, last stop before the end of the day, I was on my way to the airport. I went back by there, and I was digging around because they had some psych and prog bins and stuff like that. And this Scruffy Duffy record was in there. And I was like, what the heck is this, Scruffy Duffy? And he's like, oh, man, this is killer. You should look it up. So I looked it up, and I listened to a couple tracks. I'm like, man, this is really good. How have I never heard of Scruffy Duffy? What is this Scruffy Duffy? So I paired this one with that one, and we made a deal. So I ended up getting it. I'm thrilled to have it. It's super clean, really nice. That it's kind of surprised me that I ended up with it, because I was told myself, I'm not going to buy that record. But he gave me a good deal on it, and Scruffy Duffy turns out. So there's another album called Duffy. It's got like a dog on the cover. Here, I'll show it to you. It's this record right here. I believe this is the German pressing with the dog on the cover. This is the French pressing, same album, both originals. That's the French one. And I love, the reason I have two is that this one has the original dog cover. Love Duffy. Love that album. And I did not realize they had other albums. So this is called Scruffy Duffy, which is the band Duffy, but the album is called Scruffy Duffy. And so it's just really funny because it doesn't even say Duffy on it. It just says Scruffy Duffy. But if you look on Discogs, the band's Duffy, the album's Scruffy Duffy, and it fits right in with their other record. It's very, very good. Really nice, heavy blues, prog, type of, it's more blues rock than anything, but it has some hard rock elements, a little bit of progressive elements as well. It's cool, but I'm thrilled to have found this because I didn't even know it existed, so that's cool. So moving on from there, I did hit a bunch of other booths. I got some deals here and there. There was another booth kind of as I was walking along, and I know that they did not have these on the wall on Friday. So this was Saturday. I was walking along, and I turned and looked, and I was like, oh, dang, this Pax record. May God and your will land you and your soul miles away from evil. Pax, P-A-X. This is an absolute mind-blowing hard rock record from Peru. Another thing you'd never expect to find in the States. When I saw it, I was like, oh man, I hope that's clean, because they're never clean. When you look on the Discogs sales history, they're pretty much always hammered. And I've had a chance at a hammered one before, but it was a lot of money and I didn't want to spend that on a hammered one. So I was like, hey, can I see that record? And so they pull it down, and as they're pulling it down, the guy behind me says, hey, can I see that Parliament record? And I'm like, what Parliament record? I didn't even notice that this was underneath it on the wall. And I was like, no, because that's the one. This is the one I needed. This is Osmium, super, super hard to find. I've been looking for it for years, never been able to find a really good, clean copy. And so I was like, dang it, I missed it. Whatever, at least I got the packs. So I'm looking at the packs, and the guy put it back. He didn't want it. And I said, hey, give me that. So anyways, we did a bundle deal on both of these, and I am super thrilled. But this, if you've never heard of PAX, this is unbelievable hard rock. And then, but Parliament Osmium, very unique album from the Parliament Funkadelic franchise. But yeah, he gave me a good deal on these. I was super stoked to get them. The booth next to this guy also had some really good stuff. This is Black Ruby, really good, like soul singer type stuff, a little bit on the funky side, If you like Ann Peebles, stuff like that, it's along that same lines. Amazing record. I have a reissue of this. Stoked to get an original. This is one that it's a psych record that I've been wanting forever. This is the Growing Concern on mainstream. One of those really hard ones to get on mainstream. So I was excited to see it. It was reasonably priced. Oh, he gave me a good deal on the whole stack, but reasonably priced. The Growing Concern. Stoked to get that one finally. It's one I should have probably had a long time ago. And then this is probably the find of the day. Well, the find of the weekend, probably. I mean, as far as like good deals go. So this is the Velvet Underground Nico. It's peeled. But it's a nice copy all around. The disc is not bad, but this is a first mono. So it is the torso cover. When I saw the torso cover, I couldn't believe it because the price was $100, which, if you know, these are not. I mean, with the torso cover, that is a very, very rare and expensive record. I have a torso cover here at my house, and it's pretty torched. So I'm going to be selling that one. But I mean, even a torch one's. But the disc's not bad on this, and it's a first mono, and it's the torso cover, so I don't know. I've got, I just recently got another torso, so I don't know. I'll be selling off whatever I don't keep. But yeah, that one was kind of the only one that I felt like I got like an insane deal on, because there's dealers everywhere, and they're all trying to buy for their shops. And so there's not a whole lot of really good deals there by Saturday, you know, because a lot of people just buy stuff up. So especially stuff like that. I don't even know how that happened, but there's probably half the people there are dealers buying for their shop and shipping stuff back. So it's kind of crazy. But, you know, when you have a shop, you want to have really good rare records and stuff. So that's why they do it, and I totally get it. But, I mean, you're at a record show. That's just kind of the way it is. But, yeah, so there was not a lot of crazy deals there. But I know a couple guys that I was with, they got there early on Friday, and they got some really good deals on stuff. I wasn't able to get there. My flight got delayed, and I got there at noon on Friday, which it opens at like 10, so I missed a couple hours. So those couple hours, a bunch of stuff got gobbled up. So this is one... at the end of the day, I had $100 in my pocket. Okay, that's all the cash I had left with me. I had $100, and I was like, I gotta blow this $100 right now, you know. And this Starview, Upward Bound, it's like a gospel funk record. I have a reissue of it, and it was on somebody's wall. They had 180, and it was 20% off, so that would have been like 140. I said, hey, I got $100, and he's like, sold. So that's a great deal on that record. Killer one I'm definitely gonna keep. And then earlier on, I was at another booth, and I got this Epitaph Stop, Look, and Listen record. Got it for $100. It's a good like prog rock record. I've been wanting it for a long time.
Together, what can I do? Girl, when I kiss you, oh, what you do to me. You know we can make it, that's easy to see. We can make it, girl, you know that we can. We can make it, girl. Oh, baby, I have the plan.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I'm overwhelmed. I don't even know where to start. I feel like every time I think to go to a booth, I'm like, but maybe.
Yeah, you just got to start somewhere, and
yeah,
you know you're gonna miss stuff, and you're gonna find stuff. It's just the way it is.
I was wondering if you were the guy from YouTube.
I'm one of them. Yeah. You buy? I was gonna see you in action. You buying anything?
So I did buy some from my buddy Record Safari. Record Safari is Alex. His name's Alex Rodriguez. They made a documentary about him. He does the Coachella record show. He's a figure in the vinyl community. He's in California. He's got his own record store. Anyways, so very cool dude. I've known him for ever online, you know, and he's come into my shop before. He kind of drives around the country, buys records, stuff like that. He's a cool dude. So very good friend of mine. And so he had this, I've been dipping my toes into 45s. I think I said that already, but he had this on Justice Records, which I collect that label. It's a North Carolina garage label. This is the Rockets Combo. It is on that Sweet Gold Justice label, and I saw this, and I was like, that's North Carolina, and so I bought that. And then this one I've not listened to yet. There's no clips of it online. I bought it based on his recommendation. This is Dan Evans, Solutions for Pollutions. I might end up putting it on Find This Record, you know, if I rip it on there so you guys can hear it. But very cool too from him. I just wanted to buy something from him since he was there, and he's a very good friend. All right, so you guys know Lance from Permanent Records in LA was there. And Lance is such a cool dude. He's like the prototypical California cool guy. You know, he's got the long blonde hair. He's laid back. He's chill. But the dude is an absolute genius when it comes to records and 7 inches and stuff. And he, so if you know the Brown Acid compilations that Ride Easy Records does, he does a lot of the legwork for that. He does a lot of the licensing, tracks down a lot of the stuff for that. So he, they came from kind of his collection. He collects all those rare hard rock 45s, and I've kind of tried to stay out of that world because I know how dangerous it is. Those things are expensive, and they're only like 1 or 2 songs, you know. So it's been calling me for a while, and I've picked up a few here and there, but I've never really dove in super deep. Here in the last couple of months, I've been letting myself get into it. So I feel like in the world I'm in, I really need to know some of that stuff because a lot of that stuff wasn't on LP. So I told Lance, I was like, if you're coming, bring me some stuff, because he you know, when you collect like he does, he has doubles of stuff or whatever. And so he said he pulled together some doubles of stuff, and so these are all I bought from him. I don't even know if I should tell you what they all are. But some of these I know about, some of them I don't. Some of them I've never heard in my life. But I trust Lance. He's such a good friend, and he's like, his mind on this stuff is as out of this world. And also, like, with pricing on stuff like this, it's kind of guesswork because there's not a lot of sales history. You kind of have to price them based on how they sound, and a lot of them, like, if you look them up on Discogs, only like 2 or 3 people have them. And so it's just, they're cool records. They're super heavy. So I'll just kind of go through really quick. This one's Flavor, Hot and Tot Woman. I've never heard this before, but it looks cool. This is Brotherhood of Peace, Feel the Heat in the Driver's Seat. But this, they shorten their name to BOP. This is not on the Brotherhood of Peace record. So this is a single only release that they did. This one is so freaking killer. This one is Sky Saxon Seeds. This is called Shuckin' and Jivin'. This is out of this world, man. I've heard this. It is very heavy, really, really good. Smokey Bear, Stonehenge, another killer one. Jerry Williams. So there's an A-side on this one. The A-side, I think, is like super slow. I don't think it's as good, but the good side is the B-side, and that's Crazy About Your Baby. This one is White Rock, Please Don't Run Away, / Another Chance. This one is freaking out of this world. This was on Brown Acid, but this is Blizzard, Be Myself on one side and Peace of Mind on the other. Both sides are absolutely killer. This one is Glass Sun, Silence in the Morning, and Oh Sandy on the back. That one's a killer one too. This one's Cold Sweat, Quit Your Fooling. Sweat with 2 T's. That's a great one. This is Prime Evil, Too Dead to Live. So Prime Evil, I have that record. It's a killer. Smoking Bats at Compton's. It's a private press, really heavy. But this is a non-LP track. So a lot of bands, they released an LP and then they might have done some 45s as well that you can't get on the LP. So this is another one called Daybreak. Which one was on? One of these was on Brown Acid. I can't remember. But that's what the label looks like. Very cool. Big Brother, ESP. So if you know Big Brother, not Big Brother and Holding Company, but Ernie Joseph, Big Brother, it's a really killer LP. This is a track that's not on the record. This is Crossbloods, Orange Sunshine. Oh man, this one's insane. Both sides are super killer. This is Super Chief, Super Chief, Animal Woman / Red Brained Woman. This one is killer. If you're gonna look one of these up and listen to it, I think that's on all streaming and it's amazing. This is one I didn't know about. This is Sandy Toronto and Nemo Spliff a year ago today. Really, really like heavy fuzz, really cool stuff. Peppermint. This is on the Peppermint label, which is a really good like hard rock label. Artist, Every Lady Does It. That one's killer. This one's like funk rock. Preacher, Life is a Gamble. This one's Mop Tops, Our Lives. Kanan, Leave It. This one's amazing. This one's on Brown Acid. This is one of my favorite tracks that's ever been on Brown Acid. It's amazing. Fat and Hungry, The Streaker. Haven't heard this yet. Don't think. Sarah West, Saturday Hot and Heavy. I'm going to be getting into these today probably. Signs, San Francisco Trolley Company. That's the name of the band, San Francisco Trolley Company. The name of the song is Signs. Midnight Shakedown. This one is called, I think the band's called Serpent. It's called Midnight Shakedown. This one is mind-blowing. Goodly Rubinson, Inside Outside. Amazing. Oh man, what is this? Kingdom, Mistress. Last one is Black Hawk, Little Susie Looker. So anyways, those are all like just, if you're getting into 45s, I just thought I'd show that because I'm getting into them, and this is, some of these I know, some of them I don't. So I'm super excited to learn, but these he all highly recommended. So, but also, you know, they're not telling me to plug them or anything like this, but Riding Easy Records has those Brown Acid compilations, and those, if you had to collect all the 7 inches that were on, I think they just released volume 18. I mean, that would be tens of thousands of dollars of 7 inches you'd have to buy, or 45s you'd have to buy, to get all that music. It's stuff that's never been reissued. It's a lot of stuff that's really hard to find, tracks that are hard to track down. So I would highly recommend, if you haven't delved into that Brown Acid stuff, it's not just a regular compilation where they pulled stuff off of other albums. It's these really rare 45s that you can't find anywhere. So that was my I did a little splurge with Lance, so those were not cheap, but it was a lot of fun. So the record store was a blast. You know, spent a bunch of money, had a bunch of fun, met up with a bunch of friends. It was great, really great time. You know, we met up with Mazzy, met up with Too Many Records, met up with Lance from Permanent Records, Sunshine Records. A bunch of my friends were there. A bunch of YouTube channels were there. On Friday, I had dinner with Matt from Too Many Records and Lance from Permanent Records in LA. We had Mexican food. It was amazing. And then Saturday I had lunch with Mazzy and a bunch of other YouTubers. There was like 8 or 9 of us, and we ate at Terry Black's Barbecue, which is across the street from the convention center, and it's, you know, legendary. Everybody tells you got to go there if you go to Austin. It was great stuff, great food, but it was really good to meet some people that I just knew on the internet. And met some different people that had pressing plants and stuff like that. Just, it's cool to know other people in the community, and I had a really good time going. I'm glad I went. With the Austin show, it is, I think when you walk in, it is so overwhelming. Like when I walked in, I was so overwhelmed. I cannot express to you because there is so much stuff everywhere. It's huge. There's like thousands of people in there selling records. And then there's hundreds of people selling records, thousands of people in the room, I guess I would say. I don't know. There's a ton of people, ton of records, a lot going on, too much to process. Like the record shows I've been at have been pretty small. And so you just kind of walk through and you're like, whatever. But I mean, every booth has records on the wall that you're like, ugh, and so you're like, I want to see that, I want to see that. And then people are buying records that you want around you. And you're like, oh man, they got that. I mean, and it's just like, it's like war. It's crazy. So I think because of that, it's exhausting. Like when you're done, like when you're done for the day, I mean, me, I just wanted to sleep. I was so wiped out because it's just like, I cannot express how much you cannot stop looking everywhere, and you feel like you're missing something all the time, but then you're also like buying things and getting deals. It's fun. It's just a whirlwind. It's a lot of fun. So on Friday when I got out, I was just so exhausted. I went to one shop, BLK Vinyl, that's there. A friend of mine owns it. And then I went and ate food and went back to the hotel and went to sleep. And Saturday, I went all day till like 4, and then I had to go catch my flight and get home. But it was just like, when I got home last night, I was just like, man, so exhausted. But it's because there's so much stimulation, like all at once. You're meeting people, and so I know I didn't see everything there. I know I definitely did not see every record there, but it was a lot of fun. So I'm glad I went. Might do it again. I'll let you guys know. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Maybe it gave you a look at what the Austin Record Show is about. If you haven't been, maybe we'll meet you there another time. So thank you guys for watching. Here's some more footage of just walking around, meeting people, stuff like that. Check it out.